Okay, so I figured out how to hack the matrix, how to change reality. It's all about implanting visions and creating emotions. Emotions are specific frequencies. A happy frequency is a different frequency than an anger frequency. And if you're in the anger frequency, you can't access the benefits of the happy frequency. It's really hard to explain this. It's taken me decades, even after having heard about this information long ago, to really get to a point where I think I understand it. And so if the light doesn't click on for you now, just hang on to it. It's just a piece in a puzzle that one day will come together. But when you look at predictive programming, you can't deny the instances of coincidence between all of the imagery that you can find on the Google for 9/11 that shows the Twin Towers with an explosion coming down with an airplane. All these eerie coincidences that you can find, they call predictive programming. The Simpsons is infamous for what they've done. They're more accurate than Nostradamus at predicting the future, aren't they? How many things have we seen on The Simpsons that ended up in our reality? And other shows, it's not just The Simpsons. It's heavy in cartoons, though, really. So many cartoon examples of foreshadowing future. So, most people ignore the coincidence and say it's just random. That's fake news. Quit being a crazy conspiracy theorist. I've heard about you people on the TV. You're crazy. And other people think that it's the Illuminati. These devil-worshipping elite. They know in advance somehow, but they're telling us, they're bragging that they're going to do this to us. And then there's another perspective you can look at this. And that is, they don't know that this is going to happen. They don't know the future as much as they create the future and are milking us to create this future by impregnating our minds with the vision and the emotional frequency to cause this to manifest in our reality. Let me try to explain this in other ways, because it's a mind warp, really. But you have to look at this as a holographic reality, or like a dream state. You can't look at this and understand it if you're still running your factory installed operating system that tells you you're an insignificant speck riding a spinning water ball aimlessly through spaceland at Mach 88. And you're just a speck in this massive universe. And there is no God. There's just you, and you are an evolutionary ape that crawled out of the slime as a single-cell organism. And you will die and nothing will happen. You can't grasp reality from that. Everything we've been led to believe is inconsistent with the evidence. So look at this as if it's a simulation that's controlled by a computer. That's the easiest way for humans to understand this. It's much more complex, but look at it like that. It makes it easier. And let's say, well, we know on the cusp of the future, We have cars that we can steer with our mind. We have self-driving cars. We have cars that can run off of the computer. All right? So if, let's say, you're in a self-driving car and you want to make that car go left, and there are no foot pedals, there's no steering wheel, there's no shifter. You have to use your mind. How are you going to steer? You're going to envision yourself going left, and the car will go left. When you want to stop, you envision yourself stopping and where you want to stop. When you go, you envision yourself going. When you want to go right, you envision yourself taking a right. That's how you steer such a car. Now, there's interfaces that you can hook up one's brain to a computer and allow them to run the computer from their brain. And it works by envisioning where you want to go. And that's how this works. Now, if you want to affect your own reality, it's very easy if it only involves you. If no one else has to be involved in this plot that you want, you can envision it. You can manifest it fairly simply. But let's say you want to win a Grammy. All right? That takes a lot. There's a lot of people that want to win a Grammy. So it's an interactive reality, let's say. And there's other players. And it works by whoever has the strongest vision with the strongest vibrational energy at a specific frequency. If you want to steer reality for the entire herd, for example, you want everyone to do this, so reality will be this way, you have to have everyone's consent. There's different levels of consent. And apparently part of the rules of this reality show, this game, is that, one, you have to have consent in one fashion, but you can apparently deceive people towards consent. And that's what they do. Now, they don't tell us that this is how this works. We're told if you want something, you ask God. You sign over your soul. You pick your deity that you want. You can have this guy in a red jumpsuit with horns, and he lives in hell. It's a really hot place. It's not that much fun, but you get to have a really cool time while you're here. You can do whatever you want. You can be rich. You can famous. Yeah. You get to have sex with pretty much anything. Sign up with him. He'll even give you money for your soul. Yeah, it's a good deal, right? So people led to believe that all these rich people gave their soul to this dude with the red jumpsuit and the horns. And all the poor people, yeah, they signed up with Jesus. They gave him their soul. Just gave it away. And if they want something, they just ask him. All right, but you got to have a deal. You can't ask God or Jesus for something if you don't have the deal with the Jesus. So you have to sign over your soul. There's a ritual agreement that allows possession. And every month you're going to celebrate this with a sacrificial flesh and blood ritual. Yep. Either way you go with the devil or the Jesus, you have flesh and blood sacrifice rituals. Think about that for a minute. And so we're told if we want something, we either have to get it from Satan or get it from Jesus. Or there's a couple other options, But it all comes down to the same thing. But they don't tell you that if you want something, you see it, you feel it, you let it go. There's a difference between envisioning and imagining. Imagining is something that's a long, prolonged process that you can go through if you want to visualize yourself going through something. We all do that. But envisioning is a very short burst. It's a different process. It's very hard to explain. But it only takes you a second. If you want to be, if you're fighting cancer, for example, and you want to be well, you don't focus on the disease. You only focus on being healed. You don't envision yourself healing. You envision yourself healed. You see yourself well. There's no cancer in this vision whatsoever. You see yourself happy and well. And you feel the feeling. At the same time you see this, you feel how you would feel if that is already happening. It's a very simple process. It's hard to do. It's a bit challenging. It's like when you first learn to drive a car, trying to figure out how to use the controls and not hit things. And you have to be careful if you do it in the wrong way. Like they say, be careful what you wish for. And there's a couple of books I recommend. The Kabbalion, and the other is The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's like programming the computer, all right? If you want the computer to do something, you input the code, you push enter, and you let it go. And you trust that it's going to do it. Most times it does, unless there's a malfunction. But our reality is like that. And this is one way that you steer. There's a lot of other capabilities that we were not told about. And these rich and powerful elite, it's not that they worship the devil. The devil is an allegorical character to help explain a very complex process. Good and evil are not separate entities, but degrees of the same force. Just like ice and steam are but water. Ice is not a different entity from steam. One is not good and one is not evil. Depending on how they're used, and depending upon the perspective of who they are used upon, they can be good or evil. You can kill somebody with ice. You can kill them with steam. You can also heal them. Good and evil is a matter of perspective and degrees. You think, where does good end and evil begin? And you think, well, there's no way Hitler could have been good. He's pure evil. 99% people would probably agree with that, yep. But the 1% that he was working for, they thought he was pretty good. He picked that ball up and he moved them to the goal line. And then he retired at a ranch in Argentina. And we were led to believe that evil died that day and there's no more. That's another big story I'm not going to jump into. But how do you hack the matrix? Well, one, if you don't want to go that direction, if you don't really want to own nothing and be happy in the brave, new, normal world order, stop consuming the media, because they're hijacking your computer to manifest this reality. They flash those images and those feelings into your interface, and they've just programmed the reality they want. You get enough people to see that and feel that, it's going to happen. It's cause and effect. They're not telling us what's going to happen. They're using us to make it happen. You have to turn off the cult of Medea. Turn off the programming. It's the TV. It's the movies. It's the newspaper. It's everything you get on your phone. It's the Facebook. It's the Instagram. It's the Google. It's all propaganda. It's all connected. All of the media, all of the universities, even the churches. Any 501c is a division of the mighty U.S. corporation. They control your perception of what reality is, and everything that we have been led to believe about this reality is inconsistent with the evidence. You have an internet inside you. The kingdom is within you. We are all connected through the ether, through the hive. So, to hack the matrix, individually, you tune into yourself. You see the future that you want. You feel as if it was already there and how you would feel to be healthy, to be well, to not have skies that are sprayed with poison, and food that's poisoned, and water that's poisoned, and medicine that's poisoned. To not have to pay these insane taxes for everything because we've been enslaved. Envision a world that's free and healthy, with clear blue skies and those big puffy clouds like God used to make. Clean water you can drink and you can swim in without all these chemicals. Food that you can eat that doesn't give you cancer. And medicine that doesn't kill you. You got to stop consuming the media because they're using you to create their version of reality. Turn it off. It's not for your entertainment, it's programming. You're being hijacked, and they're using your signal to transmit their message and their version of reality. Tune into yourself. Once you can get into sun gazing and grounding, you'll find information comes to you through the ether. There is consciousness in the ether. Just like there is data in the Wi-Fi. Tune out to the cult of Medea. Tune into yourself. The all is mind. The kingdom is within you. And if you want to make a big difference in the reality for the hive, rebroadcast this message and make constructive programming instead of predictive programming. Make pieces about the world you want to see, the images and the feelings that you want for the future and for the now, and broadcast that to the masses. To change reality, envision what you want to see, feel what you want to feel, and let it go, like pushing enter on your computer. That's how you hack the fucking